Life can sometimes push us to make difficult and wrong choices, especially when money or pride is involved. But IK's story reminds us that no matter how far we fall, it's never too late to change, to seek forgiveness, and to rebuild with honesty and respect. Once upon a time, in Imo State, there lived a man called Ik. He was a strong-looking man in his late 30s. His skin was dark like roasted yam, his voice loud like a drum, and his eyes always searching not for love or happiness but for money. Ik was a mechanic. He fixed cars and motorcycles at a roadside workshop near the village junction. From morning till night, you could hear the sound of hammers, clanging metal, and the smell of engine oil whenever you passed by his shop. But business was not good. People in the village were poor. Many would rather push their broken cars than pay for repairs. Money no day this work, Ik would always complain as he wiped his oily hands on his torn trousers. He worked hard, but he was never satisfied. Ik wanted to live big. He wanted to wear designers, drive flashy cars, and command respect like the rich men in town. But instead, he was struggling to buy even gari and soup ingredients. The worst part, Ik hated being poor. He hated it with his whole heart. It made him bitter and angry all the time. "Nah, this poverty go kill me," he would shout, hitting his spanner on the ground. "God, why you no remember me? Why rich men full everywhere, but my own life dry like harmattan?" Despite all his struggles, Ik had one blessing: his wife, Amara. Amara was the opposite of Ik. Where Ik was loud, she was gentle. Where Ik was always complaining, she was always praying. Amara believed in hard work and contentment. She never looked down on her husband, even when their meals were soaked gari and salt. "Don't worry, my husband," she would say with a soft smile. "God will bless us one day." But Ik didn't want one day. He wanted it now, today. He began to change. He stopped coming home early. He started drinking palm wine at the local joint. Sometimes, he would come home and shout at Amara for no reason. "Is it not your duty as a wife to make this house better? Look at other women, their husbands are rich," he shouted one night. Amara didn't answer. She just wiped her tears and went into the kitchen. Her heart was breaking. This was not the Ik she married. Back when they met, Ik used to be kind. He used to laugh. He used to hold her hand and tell her she was his queen. But now, poverty had turned him into something else. The villagers started talking. "Why that man always day shout for that fine wife like that? That Amara day try, oh, me I for don leave that marriage." But Amara stayed. She believed marriage was for better or worse. She believed that one day, God would turn things around. But what Amara didn't know was that Ik was planning something dangerous. Something shameful. He had his eyes on their landlord, Mr. Abina. Mr. Abina was a rich man. He owned many houses and had plenty of money. He didn't live in the same building with Ik and Amara, but he came often to collect rent. He was big, always wore white, and had gold chains hanging around his thick neck. He also had eyes for Amara. Each time Mr. Abina came around, his eyes would stay too long on Amara. Sometimes, he would smile in a funny way. He would say, "Ah, Amara, this your beauty go kill person." Amara would quickly walk away. But Ik noticed it. And one day, a devilish thought entered his head. "What if I use this opportunity?" he whispered to himself one night. The next day, he looked at Amara and asked her a question that shook her soul. "Amara, our landlord like you. Why you no use style talk to am? Collect something for us. We need money." Amara froze. "What do you mean, Ik? You know what an I mean. Let him touch you small. Just small. We go collect money and solve our problems." Amara stared at her husband like he was a stranger. Was this really Ik? The man she prayed for daily? The man she loved? She dropped the cup of water in her hand and backed away slowly. "I am your wife, Ik. Not your business tool. I can't believe you just said that." But Ik wasn't joking. He kept pressing the matter. Day after day, he kept bringing it up. "Nah, small thing I day ask. This is how women help their families. Just do it once. I no go talk again." Amara broke down in tears. She begged him to stop. She reminded him of God. She reminded him of love. But Ik's heart was too hardened by poverty and greed. Finally, one night, he snapped. "If you no do am, then pack your things and get out of my house. You be useless wife." The words hit Amara like thunder. She stood there, shaking. Her heart was bleeding. This was the man she gave everything to. The man she suffered with. The man she prayed for. And now, he was throwing her away like trash because she refused to sell her body for money. With tears in her eyes, she packed her small Ghana must-go bag. She wore her old slippers. She didn't say a word. She didn't look back. She walked into the night broken, confused, but still holding on to her dignity. And just like that, Ik was alone. But he didn't care. At least not yet. In his mind, he thought, she'd come back when hunger hold her. But he didn't know that life was about to teach him a hard lesson, that would leave him with nothing but regret. The night Amara left her husband's house was the longest night of her life. She walked alone under the dark sky. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Her slippers made soft clap-clap sounds as she dragged her feet on the quiet village road. She had no idea where she was going, only that she could no longer stay with a man who asked her to trade her body for money. Why? She whispered into the night. Why did you choose money over me? Amara was not just beautiful, she was strong. Strong in spirit, strong in character. She believed that a woman should stand by her husband through hardship. But she also believed in dignity. She could suffer with a man, eat Gary without sugar, wear one wrapper for years, but to sell her body. No, that was the line she would never cross. She slept on a wooden bench at a friend's shop that night. Her friend Ngozi, a soft-spoken woman who sold rice and beans by the road, found her there the next morning. Amara, what are you doing here? Why are you crying? Ngozi asked, rushing to her side. Amara shook her head. Ngozi, my husband has sent me away. He said I should sleep with the landlord for money. Ngozi gasped. Jesus, that wicked man. I've always known Ik had a rotten heart. Amara tried to smile, but her lips were weak. Come and stay with me for now. You will not sleep outside again, Ngozi said, holding her hand tightly. And that was how Amara began a new chapter from nothing. She started helping Ngozi at her small food stall. She would wash plates, serve customers, and sweep the floor. She worked from morning till night without complaining. Even the customers noticed her kindness. Who is that girl with the warm smile? She greet everybody with respect. She fine and humble. Oh. Amara began to build her life again, not with riches, but with peace. She stopped crying at night. She stopped thinking about Ik. She faced her future. As she was serving rice and beans to a customer, a man in a black SUV stopped by the stall. He rolled down the window, looked at her for a moment, then parked the car. He stepped out. He was tall, clean, and well-dressed. His shirt was white, his shoes polished, and he carried himself like someone who knew his worth. His name was Mr. Kelechi, a successful businessman who was passing through the village on his way to Ori. I've heard your food is good, he said to Ngozi. She smiled. You're welcome, sir. Please sit. But Kelechi's eyes were on Amara. There was something about her, the way she moved, her calmness, the sadness in her eyes. Is she your daughter? He asked. Ngozi laughed. No, oh, she's my friend. A very good woman. Kelechi smiled. She's special. I can tell. Amara blushed and walked away. She was shy. She wasn't used to rich men speaking gently. Ik's memory had made her think all men with money were wicked. But this one was different. From that day, Kelechi became a regular customer. Each time he came to the village, he would stop by the stall. Sometimes, he would help them carry bags of rice from the car. He would bring gifts, oil, tomatoes, even slippers. Amara began to smile again. She started to laugh. Kelechi made her feel seen. One day, he waited till Ngozi stepped away and spoke to her. Amara, he said, I don't know your full story, but I see your heart. I want to know you better. Not as a customer but as a man who sees a future. Amara's heart beat fast. She didn't answer immediately. She was scared. What if he was like Ik? What if he changed? But Kelechi didn't rush her. He gave her time. He gave her space. And most of all, he gave her respect. Amara didn't fall in love with Kelechi overnight. She had been hurt before. Her heart still carried scars from what Ik did to her. But little by little, Kelechi's actions began to speak louder than words. He didn't chase her like a hungry lion. He walked beside her like a calm river, patient, gentle, and steady. Every week, he came to the food stall. Sometimes, he would sit quietly and watch her serve customers. He would help Ngozi pack up after a long day. He would just smile and say, You're doing well, Amara. Keep going. It wasn't just his kindness that touched her, it was his respect. He never once tried to touch her in a wrong way. He never raised his voice or acted proud because of his money. He would greet people in the village with humility, and soon, people began to ask, "Who is that fine man always following Amara? I hear he owns lands in Ori and a company in Lagos. He must be a real man of God." Oh. One evening, as the sun was setting and the orange light fell softly on the stall, Kelechi brought something special. It wasn't money. It wasn't food. It was a brand new wrapper, neatly folded, wrapped in a gift bag. "This is for you," he said. "I saw it and thought it would look good on you." Amara opened the bag slowly. Her hands trembled. Nobody had ever given her a gift like that, not even IK, not even on her birthday. I don't know what to say," she whispered. "Just say you will wear it one day," Kelechi replied with a smile. She laughed gently. That laugh, pure and soft, melted Kelechi's heart. After months, Kelechi finally invited her to Ori to visit one of his shops. Amara was afraid at first. "I don't want people to say I'm chasing your money," Kelechi replied. "Let them say what they want. What matters is what I see in you, and what God sees." Ngozi gave her transport fare and prayed for her. "Go, my sister," she said. "You deserve happiness. Let your past go." When Amara arrived in Ori, she couldn't believe her eyes. Kelechi's shop wasn't just a shop, it was a mini mart with over 10 workers. People greeted him with respect. "Good morning, sir." "Welcome, boss." "Sir, your new delivery just arrived." Yet Kelechi treated everyone kindly, like they were family. Amara sat in his office, speechless. "You built all this?" she asked. "With God's help," he replied. "And with the right woman, I want to build even more." That day, he didn't beg her for love. He didn't kneel with a ring. He just held her hand gently and said, "Let's build a future if you're ready." Amara nodded slowly. Her heart whispered yes. She didn't see him as a rich man anymore. She saw him as a good man. A man with clean hands. A man with respect. A man who lifted her, not because of what she had, but because of who she was. And finally, she believed in love again. Amara returned to the village a changed woman. Not because she came back with money, no. Not because she wore gold or expensive perfume. But because peace followed her like a shadow. Her eyes were brighter, her steps lighter, and her smile now lived on her lips like the morning sun. People noticed. Amara Don Day glow. Oh. That man from Ori. Day treat her well. She deserves it after what that foolish IK did to her. And then, one Saturday morning, something happened that shocked the entire village. A convoy of 3 black SUVs rolled into the village square. Each one clean, shining like glass. Village children ran after the cars shouting, "The car is very beautiful." When the doors opened, out stepped Kelechi, handsome as ever in a white senator outfit, followed by his uncle, his pastor, and 2 friends. He walked straight to Ngozi's food stall where Amara was serving beans and plantain. He knelt down right there in the middle of the dusty road and brought out a beautiful silver ring. "Amara," he said, his voice shaking slightly, "I have seen many women. I have met many faces. But none has the heart you carry. Please, will you marry me? And let us build a future together." The whole village froze. Women gasped. Men turned their heads. Some cheered. Some couldn't believe it. Ngozi screamed and nearly dropped her cooler. Amara's mouth hung open. Her hands trembled. And then she whispered, "Yes." The crowd erupted. People began to dance, clap, and sing. Even the village drummers who were passing by began to beat their drums with joy. Amara Don Hammer. Na God Day fight for woman. Oh. This one na destiny husband. The wedding was fixed in less than 1 month. Kelechi brought bags of rice, gallons of oil, boxes of clothes, drinks, and even sponsored free food for the poor on the day of the wedding. The church was full. Amara wore a white gown that sparkled like morning dew. Kelechi wore navy blue with a white cap. The pastor spoke, "What God has joined together, let no man put asunder." And in the back of the church, hiding in the crowd, stood a broken man IK. His eyes were red. His heart was heavy. His legs were weak. He watched as the woman he once rejected was now being celebrated like a queen. He remembered how he had sent her away because she refused to sleep with the landlord. He remembered how he had shouted, "Go and suffer. You're good for nothing." Now she was glowing, married to a man 10 times richer than the landlord. People noticed him at the back. Some whispered, "Shame Don Ketcham." Others said, "God has punished him well." He couldn't stay. He walked away quietly before the service ended. And that was the beginning of Ike's deep regret. After the wedding, the whole village buzzed with joy, but not everyone was happy. Ike sat alone in his one-room apartment, staring at the ceiling. No light, no fan, no food in the pot. The room smelled of dust and frustration. His new girlfriend had just left him, shouting, "You don't even have money to buy anything, I'm not your wife, I'm not your slave." He sat there in silence. His thoughts loud. His mind played scenes from the past like a film. The day Amara knelt before him, begging for love. The day he shouted, "Go and sleep with the landlord or pack your load." The day she walked away in tears, with just a nylon bag and her Bible. Now she was Mrs. Kalechi, wife of a wealthy man. Living in a fine house. Driving a clean car. Running a boutique in Ori. And he couldn't even afford Gary. His phone buzzed. It was his landlord, Oga Ike. "Today is 28th. No rent, no room. 2 days remaining." He dropped the phone like it was hot pepper. Tears gathered in his eyes, but pride wouldn't let them fall. He stood up, walked to the mirror, and stared at his reflection. "Nah, me be this," he whispered. "I used to be the boss. Girls used to line up for me. Now even primary school girls they insult me." He decided to visit an old friend to borrow small money. But when he knocked on the gateman said, "Oga no dey see poor people again. He say make you no come here again." Ike turned away, his legs weak. He walked down the street like a defeated lion. And then, he passed by a supermarket. One of the biggest in town. And guess who was standing outside, arranging cartons? Amara. Looking fresh. Looking joyful. With a small baby strapped to her back. Her husband, Kalechi, walked out with a smile and kissed her on the cheek. They both laughed, holding hands like lovers in a movie. Ike quickly turned his face and crossed to the other side of the road. His heart burned with shameful. Why did I let her go? Why did I choose landlord money over real love? See her now. Everything I prayed for. That night, he didn't sleep. His belly was empty. His heart was heavy. And for the first time in a long time Ike cried. Tears of a man who lost a good thing. Because of greed. Amara's life moved like a sweet dream. Everything she once prayed for began to fall into place, slowly but surely. Kalechi built her a boutique in Ori and named it Amara's Grace. He told her, "You have suffered enough, my queen. Now, it's your time to shine." The shop sold fine lace, shoes, handbags, perfumes, and makeup kits. Customers loved her smile, her humility. Before 1 year passed, she opened a second shop in Onitsha. Even Amara couldn't believe it. Every day, she would kneel beside her bed and whisper, "God, I thank you. When the devil thought it was over, you lifted me." But she didn't stop there. She started helping others. First, she sent money to 3 single mothers in her village every month. Then, she paid the school fees of 2 girls who were always sent home for lack of fees. Even her husband Kalechi was surprised. "Babe, are you a human being or an angel?" Amara laughed and said, "I remember how I suffered. I can't enjoy life and watch others crying." Pastors used her as sermon example. When God lifts you, no man can bring you down. Meanwhile, Ike was struggling to sell pure water on the street. Yes, Ike, the same man who once wore gold chains and carried himself like a king. Now he tied towel on his neck, carrying cooler of water in the sun, shouting, "Cold water. 50 naira cold water." Sometimes, Amara would see him from her tinted car window as she passed the road. She just whispered, "God, help him." That's how powerful she had become, a woman of grace, not bitterness. And that's why her blessings never stopped. Every day, Ike life continued to drop like rain in rainy season, steady and without mercy. His friends disappeared. His respect vanished. His pockets were as dry as firewood. People who used to greet him now walked past him like dust. Even small boys in the area would shout behind him, "See that man way, send him wife away." See him now, he couldn't even fight them. There was no strength in him anywhere. Walked into a buka and asked the madam, "Mama, a beg give me small food. I no go fit pay now, but I go bring money tomorrow." Mama looked at him and hissed, "No be you way chase your wife go sleep with landlord. You no fit pay, a beg shift." The shame nearly killed him. He walked out slowly, stomach growling, head bowed. That night, he sat by the roadside with his head between his knees. The wind was cold, but the regret in his heart was colder. He thought about Amara. He remembered her laughter, her cooking, Her prayers every morning. Her patience, even when they had nothing. He now saw clearly. She was the blessing he didn't value. He whispered to himself, if I fit just see her. If I fit just tell her sorry. The next morning, Ik did something nobody expected. He borrowed a clean shirt and asked his neighbor for Vaseline to rub on his dry face. He looked at himself in the mirror and said, go and ask for forgiveness. Even if she no forgive, try. He entered a bus to Ori. Sweat covered his face. His hands were shaking. When he arrived at Amara's Grace boutique, he stood outside for almost 15 minutes. He didn't know how to enter. He feared that people might laugh at him, again. But then the door opened and Amara stepped out with a customer. She saw him. Her smile disappeared. For a moment, both of them just stared. No words. Just silence. Ik knelt down right there by the glass door. People turned to look. Some brought out phones. But Ik didn't care. He said in a low voice, Amara. I am sorry. I am not here to beg for money. I just came to say you were a good wife. And I was a foolish man. Amara looked at him. Then she looked around. Then, slowly, she bent down and helped him up. She said stand up. It's okay. I forgave you a long time ago. Tears ran down Ik's face. He tried to speak, but his voice cracked. And for the first time in years, his heart felt a little lighter. After Ik's tearful apology at the boutique door, Amara surprised everyone. Instead of walking away, she gently held his hand and said, come inside. Ik's heart jumped but fear stayed with him like a shadow. He followed her inside the boutique. The customers stopped shopping and stared. Some whispered. Amara ignored them. She sat Ik down on a chair behind the counter. Tell me, she said softly, what made you come back? Ik looked down, ashamed. I have nothing now, Amara. No money, no home, no respect. I lost everything because I chased quick money and selfish pride. I was wrong. I hurt you deeply. I want to say sorry. Amara smiled, not with pride but with kindness. I forgive you, Ik. What matters is that you understand now. Life is about love and respect, not money. Then she surprised him again. I want to help you. Not because I owe you, but because I believe people can change. Ik couldn't believe his ears. She took out her phone and called a friend. Please, can you help Ik get a job? Minutes later, a young man entered. He said, Ik, my name is Emeka. I manage a logistics company nearby. We have small jobs for honest people. If you are ready to work hard, we can start tomorrow. Ik felt tears again. This time, tears of hope. Amara gave him a food and said, take this home. Start fresh. Before he left, Ik bowed deeply. Thank you, Amara. I will never forget your kindness. Amara smiled. Just promise me one thing. Never let greed make you forget what truly matters. Ik nodded, full of hope for the first time in years. Outside the boutique, the sun shone bright. And in Ik's heart, a new chapter had just begun. The next morning, Ik woke up early. For the first time in a long while, he felt something new hope. He put on the clean shirt Amara had helped him get and went to meet Emeka. Emeka greeted him warmly. Welcome aboard, Ik. We start small, but with hard work, you'll move up. Ik smiled. He carried boxes, sorted packages, and delivered small items all over Ori. The work was hard. His muscles ached. Sometimes the sun burned his skin. But every time he felt like giving up, he remembered Amara's words. Never let greed make you forget what truly matters. Slowly, people in the company began to notice him. Emeka said, you're reliable, Ik. Keep this up. Ik's confidence grew. He saved every small amount he earned. He stopped hanging around bad friends. He even went back to his old neighborhood not as the proud man he once was, but as a humble one. Some people laughed. Others were surprised. But Ik didn't care. He was on a new path. While delivering packages, Ik passed by Amara's boutique. She smiled and waved at him. He waved back, feeling proud. Not because of money, but because of the man he was becoming. As days passed, Ik's new life brought many lessons. He learned that love isn't about possession or control. Love is about respect, kindness, and trust. One afternoon, Ik visited Amara again not to ask for anything, but to thank her. She smiled warmly. I never wanted to hurt you, Ik, she said softly. I only wanted us both to be happy, even if it meant letting go. Ik nodded, his eyes full of regret. I didn't see it before, but now I understand. I was selfish. I hurt you deeply, and I'm sorry. Amara reached out and touched his hand gently. It is not too late to be better. Love can grow even from pain, if you let it. Ik felt a weight lift from his heart. He realized that money never gave him happiness. It was love true that he had lost. From that day, Ik promised himself to live differently. To respect people, no matter who they were. To be honest, humble, and kind. He also began helping others in small ways. Sometimes, he gave free water to children playing on hot streets. Other times, he helped elderly neighbors carry heavy bags. The people who once ignored him began to smile and greet him. Ik was becoming the man he always wanted to be, not rich in money, but rich in heart. After learning the true value of love and kindness, Ik kept working hard every day. His boss, Emeka, noticed Ike's new attitude. One morning, Emeka called Ik into his office. Ik, I'm proud of how you've changed. Your honesty and dedication are rare. I want to offer you a better position. Ike's eyes widened. Really, sir? Thank you. I won't disappoint you. Emeka smiled. I know you won't. With the promotion, Ik began managing small teams and organizing deliveries. His salary increased slowly, but more important was the respect he earned. Ik never forgot Amara's kindness and advice. He visited her often, sometimes just to say hello, sometimes to ask for wisdom. Amara was happy to see him grow. She said, Ik, I believe you're ready for something bigger. Have you thought about starting your own business? Ik thought deeply. Yes, I want to build something honest. Something that helps others like me. Amara nodded. Then I will help you. Let's work together. With Amara's support and his determination, Ik began planning a small delivery business. He borrowed a little money from a friendly neighbor and rented a small warehouse. Slowly but surely, Ike's new company started. People remembered the man who once hit rock bottom, and many believed in his comeback. Ike's journey was far from over, but this new chance gave him hope. For the first time, he felt proud not because of money, but because he was honest and true to himself. With Amara's support, Ik felt stronger than ever. She wasn't just a kind woman, she became his partner in building a better future. Every day after work, they met at the small warehouse. Amara helped with marketing, using her boutique's customers to spread the word. Ik managed deliveries and planned routes. They faced many challenges. Sometimes money was tight, sometimes clients canceled orders, but they never gave up. Amara often reminded Ik, every big business starts small. Patience and hard work are keys. Ik worked harder than ever. He woke up early, visited clients, and fixed problems quickly. Slowly, the business grew. People began trusting Ike's delivery service. Orders increased. Ik even hired 2 young men from the neighborhood to help. Their teamwork made the work easier. Outside of work, Ik and Amara's friendship grew deeper. They shared stories, laughed, and sometimes talked about their dreams. One evening, under the soft light of a street lamp, Ik looked at Amara and said, I never imagined someone like you would believe in me. Amara smiled warmly. We all deserve a second chance, Ik. Ik knew he was lucky. Not just because of money or success, but because of the kindness and trust Amara showed him. Together, they were building more than a business. They were building hope. As Ike's business started to grow, new challenges came their way. One day, a big company tried to take their clients by offering lower prices. Ik felt scared and worried. But Amara stayed calm. We must show them why people trust us, not just about prices. They worked harder on good customer service. Ik personally visited clients to listen to their needs. He made sure deliveries were always on time. Slowly, their loyal customers stayed. Even some new clients came because of their honest work. But not every day was easy. Once, a delivery truck broke down far from the city. Ik and his team spent hours fixing it. Amara brought food and encouragement. That night, tired but happy, Ik said, without you, I would have given up. Amara smiled. We are a team. Through all the hard work, their business grew bit by bit. Ik learned that success wasn't just about money. It was about patience, teamwork, and never giving up. He also learned that having someone who believes in you makes all the difference. With every challenge, Ik and Amara became stronger. Their dream was alive and so was their hope. One bright morning, Ik was at the warehouse checking deliveries when his phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello, Ik speaking, he answered cautiously. Good morning, Ik. My name is Chike, a friendly voice said. I'm from a big company interested in your delivery service. Ike's heart raced. A big company? Are you sure? He asked. Yes, we heard about your honesty and good work. We want to offer you a contract to handle some of our deliveries, Chike explained. Ike couldn't believe it. This is a big chance for me. Thank you, sir. I won't disappoint you. Over the next weeks, Ike worked even harder. Amara helped by managing the extra paperwork and customer calls. The new contract brought more money and more responsibility. Ike felt proud but stayed humble. He knew this opportunity was the result of years of hard work and never giving up. After a long day, Ike and Amara sat outside the warehouse. Ike looked up at the stars and smiled. From the man who was lost and alone to someone given a new chance. I'm grateful. Amara took his hand. Your heart changed, Ike. That's why the world is giving you a new chance. Ike squeezed her hand. I promise to keep being honest and kind. No more mistakes. Together, they dreamed of a future full of hope and success. The road had been tough, but Ike's story was changing step by step, day by day. With the new contract secured, Ike's delivery business began to grow faster than ever. Orders came from all over Imo State and even beyond. Ike and Amara worked day and night to keep everything running smoothly. Amara managed the finances carefully, making sure every penny was accounted for. Ike trained his team to deliver packages with care and respect. They hired more helpers from their community, giving jobs to those in need. One busy afternoon, Ike called a team meeting. I want us to be more than just a delivery company, he said. I want us to be known for honesty, respect, and kindness. His team nodded, inspired. Amara smiled proudly. She had seen how far Ike had come. One evening, after a successful day, Ike and Amara sat on the porch of their small office. Ike looked at Amara and said, "Thank you for believing in me when no one else did." Amara laughed. Softly, "We are partners, Ike. Together, we're stronger." They dreamed of expanding the business further. Opening new branches. Helping even more people. For the first time, Ike felt truly hopeful about the future. Not just for himself, but for everyone who believed in him. Just as things were looking up, new problems began to appear. One morning, Ike received a call from a client complaining about a delayed delivery. Ike felt frustrated. He knew that even one mistake could hurt their growing reputation. Amara reminded him, mistakes happen, Ike. What matters is how we fix them. They worked quickly to solve the problem and apologized sincerely to the client. But delays kept happening because one of their trucks was old and breaking down often. Ike realized they needed to invest in better vehicles to keep up with the demand. However, money was still tight. Ike sat down with Amara one night, worried. How can we afford new trucks? We don't have enough yet, he said. Amara thought for a moment. We can save a little each month. Maybe ask for a small loan. But only if we're sure we can pay it back. Ike agreed. They made a plan to save and budget carefully. Meanwhile, Ike also faced competition from other delivery companies trying to copy their ideas. Some even tried to spread rumors about their service. Ike felt angry but kept his calm. Amara told him, let's respond with kindness and good work. That's the best way to win. Ike understood. He focused on training his team better, improving customer service, and building trust. It wasn't easy, but with Amara's support, he felt ready. Together, they faced each challenge like a team. Every problem became a chance to learn and grow stronger. After months of saving and hard work, Ike and Amara finally had enough money for a new delivery truck. The day they bought it was full of joy. Ike stood proudly next to the shiny vehicle, a symbol of hope. This is just the start, he told Amara with a big smile. Amara nodded, a new beginning for us both. With the new truck, deliveries became faster and more reliable. Clients noticed the improvement and praised their service. Ike felt proud knowing that their patience was paying off. The business started to attract even bigger clients. Ike received a call from a large supermarket chain interested in a delivery partnership. His heart raced with excitement. This could change everything, Ike told Amara. She smiled, we've worked hard. Now, it's time to grow. Ike and Amara began preparing for this new chapter. They hired extra hands, trained the team, and improved their system. The small delivery business was growing into something bigger and better. At night, Ike and Amara sat together, dreaming of the future. From the man who almost gave up to a man with a dream coming true, Ik said softly. Amara squeezed his hand. Together, we'll reach even higher. Their journey wasn't over, it was just beginning. Just when Ik felt life was moving forward, the past caught up with him. One afternoon, Ik saw a familiar face while walking through the market. It was his ex-wife, Amara's old friend, standing with a new man. Ik's heart tightened. Memories of old mistakes, pain, and regrets flooded back. He remembered how his selfish choices had hurt Amara and pushed his wife away. Ik's stomach churned with guilt. He thought, can I ever fix what I broke? Later that evening, Ik sat with Amara and shared his worries. I saw her today. It brought back everything, the pain, the regrets. Amara listened quietly. Ik, you've changed. Your past is a lesson, not a chain. But what if she hates me? What if I lost her forever? Ik asked, eyes full of doubt. Amara smiled gently. You can't change the past, but you can show who you are now. Ik nodded, feeling a small spark of hope. He decided to reach out to his ex-wife, not to ask for forgiveness, but to show he was sorry and changed. It wasn't easy. The conversation was tense, filled with silence and emotion. But slowly, they began to talk honestly for the first time in years. Ik felt the weight of regret lifting just a little. Facing his past was painful, but necessary. It was part of his journey to become a better man. After meeting Oma and speaking honestly, Ik felt a heavy burden lift from his heart. Though the past could never be erased, he finally understood that forgiveness both from others and himself was the key to healing. He talked openly with Amara about his feelings. I feel like I'm finally free from the guilt, he said softly. Amara smiled warmly. You earned this freedom, Ik. By facing your mistakes, you've grown. Ik began focusing more on the present, building a life filled with respect, kindness, and hard work. At the delivery office, he encouraged his team with a new passion. We all make mistakes, he told them, but what matters is how we rise after falling. Amara's support never wavered. Together, they celebrated every small success, new contracts, happy customers, and stronger teamwork. Ik also started helping his community. He donated food and supplies to struggling families. He offered free deliveries for local charities. His heart was full knowing he could give back. One afternoon, a reporter visited their office, impressed by their story. From struggle to success, your journey is inspiring, she said. Ik smiled humbly. We're proof that change is possible when you believe and work hard. Though the road was still long, Ik knew he wasn't alone anymore. With Amara by his side, he was ready to face whatever came next. Their story was no longer about regret, but hope. And together, they would keep moving forward. With every challenge faced and lesson learned, Ik and Amara grew stronger, not just as partners, but as leaders in their community. Their delivery business was no longer just a way to make money, it became a symbol of hope and perseverance. Ik often thought back to his darkest days, the mistakes, the regrets, the pain he caused. But instead of sinking in guilt, he used those memories as fuel to be better. He knew his story could inspire others. One morning, Ik and Amara visited a local school to talk to young people about hard work, honesty, and second chances. We all have struggles, Ik told the students, but what matters is how you choose to face them. The children listened, eyes wide with hope. Ik felt proud knowing his journey might light a path for someone else. At home, Ik and Amara built a loving family filled with respect and care. Their past no longer defined them, instead, they shaped a new legacy. One built on trust, love, and the courage to change. Ik looked at Amara and smiled. Thank you for believing in me. Amara smiled back. We built this together. And this is just the beginning. Together, they faced the future not afraid, but ready. Because their story was no longer about pain or regret. It was about hope, growth, and a new legacy. Thank you so much for watching this story about Ik, a man who faced his mistakes, learned from them, and built a better life with courage and love. Life isn't always easy. Sometimes we make wrong choices, but what truly matters is how we grow and change afterward. Ik's journey teaches us that forgiveness, hard work, and hope can lead to a new beginning even after the darkest times. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring tales from Nigeria and beyond. Also, let me know in the comments what lesson touched you the most. The end, my dear friends, please support me by clicking the subscribe button. Your support means so much to me. Let's grow this family together one story at a time. Thank you so much. Bye.